afternoon.
Afternoon.
Ethan is saying good afternoon. We are back at the kitchen table this afternoon. We have one more child with us than we had last week. Because Ethan wasn't here last week. Sure you weren't?
No.
Why were you not here last week? Can you remember?
Cause we were living off bags.
We were what?
We were living off bags.
I think you weren't here because you had a cough. Do you remember that? Yeah. So Ethan wasn't here because he had a cough. But Ethan's cough is your cough better?
Yes.
Ethan's cough is just about better. So we are back here together at our table. And today we have been doing a little bit of Lego building. And we're going to do some more Lego building.
Samuel, stop buddy, stop buddy, stop buddy. Good.
Welcome to the world of our kitchen. Samuel's just pulling the blind down in the
Why are you
kitchen
pulling the
to
blind
make the
down?
light better, but trying to knock things over on the windowsill. Hey,
You gonna make it all dark, buddy?
Look.
he wants to show you something.
Oh, it's off.
Samuel is really keen to show you something. I have no idea if this is going to work.
We'll have to zoom in on it, buddy. Here we go.
Okay, so let's try that
You
again.
need to do it again. Uh-huh.
Right.
Way you go. Okay. Lovely. Can we have light again? There we go.
Samuel, are you going to explain what you were doing there?
What do you mean?
Yeah, you were really keen for people to see. This is our Fisher Price Little People nativity set that we bought when Timothy was a little baby, and which is 13 Christmases ago. Would that be right?
Yeah.
13 Christmases ago, we bought the Fisher Price nativity set. We'll look at that in a minute, okay? But 13 Christmases ago, that's what we bought in the hope that there would be one Christmas decoration that a baby or a toddler could play with. Where it didn't matter whether it got broken or damaged. Or that wouldn't get broken or damaged or wouldn't be dangerous. So that's where our nativity set came from. We also have another nativity set on the table today. Would Micah or Samuel like to talk about it?
I'll have to zoom in for that one as well.
I think you should zoom in.
Yeah.
If any of you are following the instruction sheet for today, you might, hold on a wee second Samuel, you might have Lego on your table, like we do. We have some Lego on our table and Ethan's been doing a bit of building. But if you have...
making the wall.
You were making a wall, yes. If you have some Lego on your table, today's challenge is to build a nativity scene out of Lego. And Samuel and Micah have been working very hard this morning and have done that. And you will see, it's actually quite hard to see it in the...
Why don't you move your move the fence of that one out of the
Yeah,
You know
because
what?
actually...
Yeah, I'll take the fence off. I'll just
Yeah.
take the fence
Good
off.
idea.
But don't
We need
break the
fences.
Lego.
Lovely.
So, me and Micah spent a while making this. So, Micah made the stable. I made the star. He made the laser. I made the baby. He made half of the sheep. I made half of the sheep. And then I made the Joseph because it was way too complicated to make. Oh, what is the
Yes.
So,
Lovely.
if-
There's Joseph.
So, if you're looking straight at it, then you can't see that actually. It's just awkward.
Nobody can see it at all because you're all
No,
out of
you
the shot.
actually needed to be back here for people to see it.
That's
So
it.
Look, so it's actually just very awkward. So like, just awkward there. But if you're looking straight at it, you can't see the back. So it just looks
Yeah.
like a normal head.
That's it.
So yes, so this. What about
Finding the
the?
right pieces is the hard thing, Mummy.
Did we look at the manger as well and the baby? Did
So
we see that?
here's the names are, and the baby is one of my Minecraft turtle eggs with a piece inside it,
And
and I turned over a head on top of it. Like if you look at the other side of it.
Zoom in on it.
Can you see?
you hold your hand nice and
Hold it
still.
up, point it towards the camera.
Nobody can see.
Just hold your hand nice and still. There we go.
It's just a turned over Lego head.
Oh,
so
it's too blurry,
far away.
but
Never
the Lego
if
head
you turn it like this.
is wearing a pair of sunglasses, so that's why Samuel is so amused. If you do manage to take part in the bless you. If you do manage to take part in the Lego challenge of building a nativity set either today or at any other day when you're watching this, please do post your pictures. We would love to see your pictures of a Lego nativity set. What would you like to say, Samuel?
I'm not finished.
You're not finished? Samuel is not
I'm
finished.
not finished telling you about this. So yeah, this is the seep.
Nobody
Seep.
can see it.
The shape's pretty cool. I like that shape.
Yeah, so
No, sheep isn't cool.
Micah
Hair.
Micah did that and put
Micah
started it out like this, and then
I better flop it a bit.
I
Then you
put
changed it. Why did you change
this
it?
on,
Sam,
and
you know, stupid.
and I put this on, so this little piece, and then I put this black piece on, and then I was like, and I tried to do this, but then I was like, that doesn't look like a seep, and then I think, oh wait, seep sometimes have little tufts of hair on top of their head. I did that.
That's very clever. I'm quite impressed at the sheep building. I also see that Ross snuck past me there with a cup of coffee when
Wow.
none of us were looking.
And finally, so the star. Wait, no, the star. The
What'd you
so
make it?
this is a star. I made that, and so I also made little beams of light coming from the star.
Oh, that's
very
I
good.
thought they were
And
just
then
other bits
I
of the
joined a
star.
little piece, and then I find this little piece, which I put on top of the table to make the star stick onto the side. So, click. Just let me fix this table first. And then I went click, 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 and made these, and then look, I put one of them there, and one of them there. So finally, the stable. Micah made this. We didn't have much resources to work with, so we had to just do this, which is kind of awkward, like Minecraft lava.
So wait, if you are trying to build a Lego nativity scene and you happen to have any Minecraft Lego in the house, that will come in very handy for you. So if you happen to have any Minecraft Lego, the colours in it are quite good. But you know what? If you're trying to build a nativity scene, don't worry too much about the colours. Just see what you can build, and that goes for the adults and the kids as well.
Why don't we look at this again?
You putting that back together? Yeah. So
I'll do
Micah,
this
Micah,
again.
what are you doing at the moment? What are you doing? Sorry, we can't hear because Ethan is.
Making lots of
Well,
noise.
it's
I'm
lovely.
gonna move this one away.
I'm
No, no.
coloring.
Micah is colouring. Micah, show me your sheet so far. Ethan is crying. Yeah.
Hope you can all
Could we
hear
empty it
that.
out? Right,
Here
big
goes
noise.
noise.
Big noise coming up. There we go.
No,
There
that'll
we
be a bit
go,
quieter.
Ethan.
That's
probably-
lovely. You're doing really well with that,
Yeah.
Micah.
So thanks again to Suzanne for a lovely sheet today. So you might be sitting around your table colouring in. You might be building Lego. We wish there's too much now. Well, you don't have to use all of it. Again, we wish we were sitting around the table with you. And that we could be doing this together today, and that we could be pouring a cup of coffee and enjoying that together. So the person who is missing in our room today is Timothy. Timothy is still in isolation, although strictly speaking, with the new rules changing from 14 days to 10 days, he could come out of his room today, but the rules don't actually change until Monday, so but we'll not be as strict with him in these next few days. So what we're going to do is we're going to answer a question together first, and then after that Timothy has recorded today's reading for us.
Indeed.
So he is going
Which
to
may
be
or may
with
not
us,
work.
with us by the power of technology. But let's fire ahead with the first question.
Here's your first question.
So the first question, and you'll have a minute or so to think about this yourself on your screen. Okay, so I don't know who has been. I think probably most of us have been part of a nativity play at some stage in our life, and around our table, Micah shared a little bit about being part of a nativity play. What about you, Ethan?
I like nativity play.
Yeah, no, have you been? Oh, let's not put that bit in your mouth. Have you been in one this year? What's your nativity play called this year?
Wiggly Nativity and Donkey Bonnie and Bunny Up and Down on the Camel.
Just tell us about all
Yeah.
of the songs.
So Ethan's telling us about all the songs in his Wiggly Nativity play. And what part do you have in the nativity play?
Bunny Up and Down on the Camel.
Oh, jumping
Yeah.
up and down on a camel?
Bumping.
Bumping
Yes,
up and down.
he's a wise man. He sings that song.
He bumps up and down on a camel.
And Micah, you talked about being part of a nativity play. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah.
Yeah, what did you enjoy about it? You don't know?
Just
All the
enjoy
way
it.
to Bethlehem.
Oh,
Yeah,
like
the whole
he's
thing.
We're going to get the song, Ethan.
Keep it moving on,
Keep
I
it
think.
moving. Yeah, okay, we're going to hear Timothy's story.
Let's hear the
now.
story.
Hopefully, if it all works.
Yeah.
He's here! Everything was ready. The moment God had been waiting for was here at last. God was coming to help his people, just as he promised in the beginning. But how would he come? What would he be like? What would he do? Mountains would have bowed down, seas would have roared, trees would have clapped their hands, but the earth held its breath. As silent as snow falling, he came in, and when no one was looking, in the darkness he came. There was a young girl who was engaged to a man named Joseph. Joseph was the great grandson of King David. One morning, this girl was minding her own business when suddenly, flash! A great warrior of light appeared right there in her bedroom. He was Gabriel, and he was an angel, a special messenger from heaven. When she saw the tall, shining man standing there, Mary was frightened. You don't need to be scared, Gabriel said. God is very happy with you. Mary looked around to see if perhaps he was talking to someone else. Mary, Gabriel said, and he laughed with such gladness that Mary's eyes filled with sudden tears. Mary, you're going to have a baby, a little boy. You will call him Jesus. He is God's own son. He's the one. He's the rescuer. The God who flung planets into space and kept them whirling around and around. The God who made the universe with just a word. The one who could do anything at all was making himself small and coming down as a baby. Wait, God was sending a baby to rescue the world? But it's too wonderful, Mary said and felt her heart beating hard. How can it be true? Is anything too wonderful for God? Gabriel said. So Mary trusted God more than what her eyes could see, and she believed. I am God's servant, she said. Whatever God says, I will do. Sure enough, it was just as the angel had said. 9 months later, Mary was almost ready to have her baby. Now, Mary and Joseph had to take a trip to Bethlehem, the town King David was from. But when they reached the little town, they found every room was taken. Every bed was taken. Go away, the innkeepers told them. There isn't any place for you. Where would they stay? Soon Mary's baby would come. They couldn't find anywhere except an old tumble-down stable, so they stayed where the cows and the horses and the donkeys stayed. And there in the stable, amongst the chickens and the donkeys and the cows, in the quiet of the night, God gave the world his wonderful gift. The baby that would change the world was born, his baby son. Mary and Joseph wrapped him up to keep him warm. They made a soft bed of straw and used the animal's feeding trough as his cradle. And they gazed in wonder at God's great gift, wrapped in swaddling clothes, and at God's great gift, lying in a manger. Mary and Joseph named him Jesus, Emmanuel, which means God has come to live with us. Because, of course, he had.
Okay, so we don't know whether there was a big gap there because we couldn't tell whether Timothy had finished reading or not. So Timothy has read the story for us today, and I suppose we're thinking a little bit about nativities today. We have a Fisher Price. You're noisy and you're noisy. I can't hear myself talking.
Noisy.
It's
Here,
actually,
Samuel.
other people won't be able to hear either.
Samuel,
'cause
could
you're
you just
rustling.
stop that for a wee moment, please? Thank you. Okay, so we're thinking a little bit about nativity. We've talked about different nativity scenes. We have the Fisher Price nativity scene. We have the Lego scene that has been built by Samuel and Micah. And then we have a lovely scene that has been drawn by Suzanne and that Micah, could I have your sheet again?
You can show it up to the camera.
Can you show
probably
it to the
better.
camera?
Yeah.
Just where you've got to so far?
There we go. That's it.
Yeah.
It's looking pretty good.
So I think everybody, most of us are pretty familiar with.
That's my
Hold on a
ones.
second, Samuel. Hold on, please. Most of us are pretty familiar with nativity scenes and hearing those stories, and nearly everybody, well, certainly everybody around this table, at some stage in their life, has been part of a nativity play, and those are really good things that we enjoy at Christmas. But sometimes it can be really hard to think about why we're being part of a nativity play, or why a nativity play is happening. And the key thing that we want to think about is about Jesus. There's a part of the story that Timothy read this morning that talks about Jesus making himself small and coming down as a baby. That talks about God has come to live with us. So Mary and Joseph named him Jesus, which means God has come to live with us. So I want to think a wee bit about what it meant, or what it means for God to come and live with us as a tiny baby. What is it, Samuel?
Before you do that, I've got something to show everyone.
Have you? What is it?
I've tried my very best to make a snowman, but I haven't got any white bricks, and I haven't got any black little circle bits that could go there, so I've had to use this and a little top hat.
That's
What
very
is
good,
that?
Samuel. That's very good. Okay, we have another question which we're going to throw up on screen now, and we'll talk about it here around our table, and you might get to talk about it at your table. What is it, Ethan?
When we build Lego every day, we come upstairs and build Lego every day. And every day it just pops up in my head, and that was very good about nativity.
That was very good about the nativity, was it?
And even the nativity was good, but some people just pulled up in the sky, and then it was an angel.
Okay, yeah.
Then there was then angel said Jesus is alive.
Very good. So it was the angel bit that you really
I'm
liked.
not finished.
Okay, you're not finished, of course.
And then white man give give gold and more to the baby.
Yeah, that's right. Well, yeah.
Yes, good.
Yeah, so I've just seen one of the comments there, Simon saying, I love the snowman in the Christmas story. Samuel.
I've also just made
Samuel.
Joseph hold Jesus.
Samuel.
Oh, that's very good,
They
Simon.
can't see us.
They can.
They can.
They can see us. Okay, we'll move on to our question now. So
How long do you want for the
Next
question?
question. I'm trying to remember what it is. Let's say another minute.
A minute.
Yeah, a minute for our next question.
Have a nice question.
Yeah. Okay, we had a few good answers here, or interesting answers. Micah is not talking to us much today because he is doing such a good job of his picture. So we talked a bit about what we thought it was like for Jesus to be a baby or a little boy. What did you say, Samuel?
That he was probably just like any other little boy, by the way. Cool baby.
So you think he was like any other little boy, yeah?
I think that's my city center.
Yeah. What did you say, Ethan, that you thought it was like for Jesus to be a baby or a little boy? What did you say about Mary?
I don't know.
Ethan said that Mary would have sung to him. That
That's
Mary
right.
sang songs to him. What about you? What do you think it was like for Jesus to be a little boy or a baby?
I think just a normal human experience. So he was weak, and he was relying on his mummy for food, and relying on his parents for protection and clothes and a roof over his head. Yeah, he kept dry and warm. And then whenever he wasn't drinking milk anymore, just normal food and crying and all kind of normal things that babies do and little
Yeah.
boys do.
Mm-hmm.
Would have been maybe because Joseph was a carpenter, maybe he played with bits of wood,
Yeah.
wooden toys that Joseph made for
He
him.
maybe built things as well.
Yep.
What do you think? What do you think, Micah?
Mike is concentrating very strongly on the picture.
I think there's a cool lady with shady glasses. Who's being kidnapped by a snowman.
That's meant to be a good picture.
Do you know, Samuel is just doing what happens in every nativity play around
Somebody
the world.
waves.
You know, if you, no, that's not what I mean. There's always some sort of additional character
Yeah.
or plot twist that
Interpretation.
interpretation.
Like, for example,
Yeah.
in Micah's last nativity play, like, Mary had a phone and the wise man had a sat nav.
Yeah, exactly. Mary had a
Yeah,
phone.
no,
the wise
Mary
man.
didn't have a phone. There was a midwife, and the whole thing was about the midwife trying to find baby Jesus, trying to find Mary.
Yeah,
And then by the time she got there, the baby had already been born.
yeah.
Your pen, Micah.
Micah, could you give Ethan a few pens, please?
Do you want
So,
me to make it transform into a turtle
What
egg?
colour do you want these in?
I want something to colour
Need wood.
in my baby. There's no wood in there.
Okay.
Very good. So I think for Jesus was God coming to live with us, and Jesus would have would have been a baby or a child like any other child. The one thing I do wonder about, you know, is when we think, you know, about Jesus and Jesus not doing anything wrong, was did Jesus' siblings ever go, oh, Jesus,
No,
he's so
perfect child.
He's the perfect child in the house. I don't know whether that happens in your house, but in our house, we
He
always...
has officially transformed into a Minecraft turtle egg.
Samuel, you need to stop that now, please.
But
you.
in our house, what happens is that people, who do people say is the perfect child in this
Can we
house?
do this, Ethan?
Micah. What they always say, Micah never gets told off as much as us. Micah
Mike is
always...
the perfect child. I always
So
say that.
that is the one thing I do wonder. What would it have been like growing up in the same house as Jesus? But what we do know is that Jesus came to earth. Jesus was God coming to earth as a human being to experience the same things that we experience
We
in
need
life.
wax.
And that's pretty cool. Just seeing another comment here about the sunglasses.
Can I have wax?
What?
Can I have wax?
So it was
Green, please.
another wee
Micah.
comment here that says it was very important that Jesus wore sunglasses as a baby, as it was very sunny.
This one.
Actually, I think
You'll have
that the angels would always be watching him, so he'd have to wear sunglasses.
Ah, very good, Samuel. Samuel says that he wore sunglasses because of the angels. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to move on to another question on the screen.
Okay, how long do you want for this one,
let's
Catherine?
have 2 minutes for this
2
question.
minutes?
And this, just to say, these questions apply just as much to any adults around the table as they do to children. So try and answer them all together.
Can I have
Okay,
wax?
here we go.
Okay, we're going to share our words. Ross has told me that I need to be quick.
Well, just that we've been going half an hour already.
Imagine. Okay, we're going to share our words quickly. I don't know what different words you had. So, Micah, what words did you
Lots of
talk
babies
about?
being kidnapped by a yellow snake.
One of my words is interrupted.
Happy, slightly bored, and interested.
Oh, what about you, Samuel? What were your words?
Happy, bored, fine.
What did I say?
Uh-huh.
Slightly stressed, interrupted, but content.
Wait,
Content.
no, I didn't say happy, slightly bored. The other thing. I said fine,
Yes.
slightly bored.
No, you can't.
Interested.
No, you
Yes,
can't.
he
It's
did.
interested back.
How do you
Oh,
say interested without it?
Yeah. Ethan, what were your words?
Something else.
Something else?
Mm.
I can't remember what Ethan's words were. Can anyone
He
remember?
didn't say them because he said
didn't
he'd
say
already
them.
done it.
He'd already done it. Okay.
Done
well,
his bit.
He's done his bit.
Yeah.
I asked my family members to choose words for me as to how they thought I was feeling today. What did you say, Micah?
Grumpy, stressed, and stressed.
Very good. What else did you say?
I think you said
Tired?
angry.
Tired. I said angry. Yes, I was a little bit cross earlier, so cross. But I also felt really happy today because I just had some lovely chats today,
Yeah.
and I felt happy. And just looking here, Quinn, who is joining in today, said she is feeling happy and good because she saw her granny and granda. And Simon is feeling happy after a good walk, but nervous about Manchester United playing later.
No, he's being kidnapped by what's he called, like Kidani Mundi or something. The guy with a long head in Star Wars.
Okay, thank you, Samuel.
What do you call the guy with the long head in Star
I
Wars?
think he's called. I
He's
have no idea.
isn't he something starting with K?
Anyway,
I
if
think
you're
he's something
if what you're
Monday.
referring to is Joseph and Mary and Jesus having to leave Bethlehem to go to Egypt to flee from King Herod trying to kill them, then that's a perfect analogy, Samuel.
I'm going to
This
make
is
it.
King Herod.
I think I would like to say that the reason we're taking longer today isn't because of me.
No, it's not because of you.
It's not because of me.
No, it's not because of you.
No.
We're not going to finish until I make Egypt.
Is there a yellow down there? Is there a
We're
yellow?
not going to finish until I make Egypt.
Yeah, so just a wee reminder of what we're... There we go. Yes, we've sung the word yellow several times. A wee reminder of what we're talking about today. We started with nativity scenes. Various different nativity scenes, and we're talking, but what we're really talking about is the words in the reading that says God has come to live with us. Because Jesus came as a baby, Jesus he experienced so many of the things that we experience. So he experienced what life is like as a baby and as a little boy. But he also, I'll make a star. Okay, I'll make a star. He also felt some of the feelings that we feel. He also experienced happiness and sadness and joy and maybe even anger. He experienced a lot of those feelings. So when we are now Samuel's right, isn't it? when you're having a day where you maybe feel cross, or bored or angry, and when you're having a day when you feel really happy, those are the kind of feelings that Jesus experienced as well, and Jesus understands how we feel, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to hand over.
Oh, well, thank you. I just want to say, Principal of Edge Hill College, thank you very much for affirming my twist back into the real direction of the story for Samuel. But I was struck whenever we were thinking about God being with us by the words from Once in Royal David City, which we may or may not get to sing over the next few weeks because we have to sing less in carol services, even if there is a carol service. So, but the three of the verses, God came down to earth from heaven, the one who is God and Lord of all, and his shelter was a stable and his cradle was a stall. With the poor and mean and lowly lived on earth our Saviour holy. For he is our childhood's pattern. Day by day, like us, he grew. He was little, weak and helpless, tears and smiles like us he knew. And he cares when we are sad, and he shares when we are glad. Yeah, and then the last bit says, and our eyes at last shall see him through his own redeeming love. For that child so dear and gentle is our Lord in heaven above. And he leads his children on to the place where he is gone.
I want one of them.
Good man.
The light one.
Let's hand it over. There we go.
Annoying. I've got
Samuel, could you pause for 30 seconds?
I've
1,
got
2,
Let him do it
3.
first.
No, please.
No, wait. But let me finish a sentence because otherwise I won't get it. No, gone. Never mind. You all know the story. It's fine.
Read that last. Let Samuel do this and then read the last verse again.
Joseph is good.
King Herod is coming.
Unfortunately, Samuel, buddy. Unfortunately, today we don't have any red bricks to portray the murder of the innocents. But sure. The fact is that God who came from earth, God who came from heaven down to earth as a baby to be like us, who had the same emotions as us and experienced life the same as us, is also the God who died on a cross in our place, and who was raised to life again, and
There's a spider on the camera.
has gone to be with God now, and he's preparing a place for us there as well.
There was a spider on the camera. It's called a Minecraft cave spider.
Ross loves it when his children interrupt him when he's trying to preach.
Yes, you do, don't you? I know it.
Yeah. So yeah, we're just, I suppose that's the whole thing about why we have nativity plays, why we remember this story. Here's yours. Yes, look. Here's Ethan's picture. It's why we remember and focus so much on the story of Jesus coming to earth as a baby. Yeah.
Come on,
Micah.
camera. You can focus. Focus, camera.
I think the
camera's
Samuel,
given up by Samuel.
Don't
putting
go
stuff in
close to
front
the
of
camera again.
No, if you still kill a rabbit,
Yeah.
it's kidnapping. the
All right,
baby.
buddy.
Okay. Now, Micah, you want to say something?
I'll do this at the end, so don't
Okay.
turn it off.
Yeah, he's going to show you something at the end.
Only at the end.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose today you have seen a little bit of, I suppose what real life is like when you sit down around the table, and maybe when you sit down to think about stories from the Bible and to explore them a bit together. We would love to be doing that in person. And we can't do that at the moment, but we're thankful
Can you
for
turn it back over again?
we're thankful for these chances to do this together. Yep. So I think what we will do today is that we will take a moment just in our heads to say thank you. Maybe think about those words that you said again, those words that we talked about that are happy and maybe happy or cross. Or excited, and to say in our heads to say, Jesus, thank you that you know what it's like to feel happy and that you feel happy with me.
Black, please.
Thank you that you know what it's like to feel excited and that you feel excited with
Boing,
me.
please.
Thank you that you know what it's like to feel sad and that you feel sad with me. So let's just take a little moment to be quiet. Do you think we could do that around this table?
One more thing before that.
One more thing before that.
Focus, Samuel, because you're
Noi, King Herod and the snowman are riding the spider, and the snowman has kidnapped the killer rabbit and baby Jesus.
So our nativity play has gone really off script here today. Samuel, come on over because we're going to pray.
And
Come on.
Joseph is chasing them and they're going like.
Hey Samuel, come on.
And Noi is chasing them.
Right, Samuel, come on over.
This isn't very funny anymore, Samuel.
Samuel's enjoying himself, isn't he? Come on, Samuel.
Egypt is alive.
Come on, Samuel. Come on. Right. So let's just take a wee moment to be quiet. And you can either say out loud or you can say quietly to God that you can thank Him for sending Jesus to be like us and to know what it's like to feel happy or sad or excited. Yep. Okay. So do you think we could be quiet for a moment? Just try and be quiet for a minute. God, thank you that you came to earth as a baby. Thank you that you sent Jesus as a baby. Thank you that when I was cross today, that you know what it's like to feel cross. Thank you that when I was happy today, that you know what it's like to feel happy. Thank you that whatever we're feeling today, whether really good or really hard, you know what that's like, and that you are with us. Amen.
I don't think they can see it, Ethan. What do you zoom in?
So I think that's us for today. So it is. Thank you for joining us around the table. Oh, Micah wants to show us a picture.
Oh no, I dropped the picture.
Yeah.
Turn the light back on.
Oh wait.
Samuel, buddy, you need to stop that now.
Okay.
Right, Micah, are you going to come over and show your picture?
You need to
No.
just hold it up in front,
Yeah.
and then that'll be it.
So we will finish with Micah's picture and we will say goodbye. Bye.
Bye. See you next week.